to thank Ministry of Water and Environment for this initiative and for joining us, because this was our third edition, but this one was more amplified because Ministry of Water came on board to help us train the young people on how we can continue conserving our ecosystems. And more so, I want to also to thank Kabale Central Division for joining hands to ensure that this tournament continues. And I also want to thank Envy Hub Consult for the wonderful support they have given us, because they've managed to give us the money prizes to our winning teams. And I really want to thank the team managers and team leaders for ensuring that this tournament has been peaceful. Of course, we've had challenges in terms of we didn't have enough resources, because we didn't mobilize in time, because remember, by November we are still in Ebola, so as government leaders we couldn't start preparing, not knowing how we would end or when the Ebola would stop. But nevertheless, where we started from, Ministry of Water jumped in and they really supported us, because we've managed to have an organized tournament. Our referees have been facilitated, and our teams have got trophies, and I believe next year it will be better. For other challenges, of course, if you don't have enough resources, you don't prepare as required. But we pledge that next season we shall make it better. But as I also conclude, I want to continue appealing their participants to ensure that the message we shared in terms of protecting our ecosystems, we continue to do it. The skills they acquired from Kachekano, Kazadi, they put it in practice, because we were not playing football just for the sake of playing football. We are playing football for our environment, and we are playing football for the purpose of also adding skill, ensuring that our participants get more skills, using a small piece of land to harvest to get high yields. And I believe that it was something very good, because I've been interacting with young people, and they are telling me that the most exciting, hearing from footballers saying the most exciting thing is the time they spent in Kazadi. That was very, very important, and that's what the intention of Eureka project, and that's what we want to aim on, so that even as we continue to sensitize our young people, we are going to start up debating clubs and the environmental clubs within our schools, to ensure that the children, if they get the information and the message of protecting and conservation of our environment, I do believe that we shall reach far. Of course, we were building on what has been there, and this has been always a football tournament. But we intend to bring other disciplines, and I believe in the next season we shall bring a number of other disciplines. We shall maybe look at volleyball, and we are trying to engage other partners, because this stadium needs a basketball court, so that if we are to conduct the next edition, we can have football, we can have basketball, we can have and other indoor games. We want to make it holistic, so that our young people who are not talented in football can also be considered in one aspect, in one way or the other.
Basically, such tournaments, like the Eureka Project tournament, they bring together the community. That's number one. Like sports generally brings people together. Another thing, we have seen these tournaments try to bring up talents in Kabale, because we have seen the likes of Muchure Sport, Bobos Biarahanga. They have come through these tournaments, and this tournament basically, it is also doing the same. Another thing, there are no post-primaries, as you all know about it, and such tournaments at least are helping us to shape the community. Another thing I can talk about is redundancy in children. These tournaments, it has been here for the whole week. Children have been coming. It means without this tournament, the whole week kids have been redundant. So these tournaments bring back together the kids. They take away all the redundancy at this time, basically when the kids are in holidays. What we are lacking in the field of sports, number one, are facilities, because we all know in Kabale it is only this main stadium that is operational, and the Kabale University playground. Other pitches were gazetted. They are not. We are not allowed to use them. In case we are to use them, we have to first pay for them. And you know, in sports, people are starting up, they don't have the money. The other areas that are lacking, it is athletics. Athletics, it was a good thing in Kabale. I remember Kabale Trinity College, we would send people nationals. We no longer focus on that. Then there is basketball. I don't see any basketball around Kabale and Kigezi. I always see people at Emmaus, but there are no tournaments. Then netball, it totally collapsed. So most of the areas we are focusing on football, but basketball, netball, and athletics are not being catered for here in Kabale. Much more worse, we don't have the facilities. When you check on the athletics, we always use football pitches to run the same sport, and yet we should have a different, you know, like pitch or facility for the athletics.
We are all winners in the strive to conserve our environment. Congratulations, thank you so much.
2023 champions, Kabale Youth! Hey!